Hey, good day to you all. I'm Bill Warner. I'm with Dot, and we're live here on Facebook. I actually tried to schedule this thing. We're getting a little bit more organized. When I talked to you on Tuesday, I mentioned that we're getting organized. Well, we now have decided we're going to do these live broadcasts at noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays during the week. And I'll bring to the table subjects we've been talking about in our video series, other videos in our playlists, issues of the day. You can imagine what they are, right? Yeah, we'll talk about COVID a little bit, but so that's a little bit more about our format. So we'll do about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes tops live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll give you a reminder of it Tuesday and Thursday morning. What I also want to let you know is we have a YouTube channel, and it's got a catchy name to it. Right here it is, Dot. How about that? That's easy to remember. So if you subscribe to Dot on YouTube, you'll have access to all of these videos we've been doing, including these live broadcasts. We got them neatly organized into several playbooks, one of which is called, and you can find it under this name, The Characteristics of Great Leaders. And I've just cut the last video of an 8-video series on this subject. We published the one on advisors yesterday. And we got another one coming along tomorrow. It's all about leading from the heart. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a subject I talk a lot about. And it's all about the characteristics of really great leaders. So I wanted to share that news with you. So subscribe and go to this playlist, The Characteristics of Great Leaders, and you'll see all 8 videos in the series. They're each 8 to 11 minutes, somewhere in there each. So that'll keep you occupied and out of the hair of your wife or husband. and you're tell him or her you're learning something from Dot. So that's the advertisement. So now, today's subject, I do want to talk more about business advisors, like we do in the video, but I want to talk about them in a different perspective, in a different manner than we did in the video. So I'm not just kind of repeating what we said in the video. So just as a reminder, if you haven't seen the video yet, we broke down business advisors into coaches and mentors and advisory boards and boards of directors and attorneys and, God love them, accountants. These are all people that you may need in your life in running your business. In fact, not may need, you will need. So I'll go through them in order, but I want to focus more on why they are beneficial to you. So with respect to coaches, whether you call them a mentor or otherwise, or they're paid consultants, you want to get a hold of people that are going to help you solve business problems. Get you connections in the industry you're in because they know so many people in it. That's the kind of person you want to know. You want a person that has mature judgment. In other words, has been there, done that, or she has been there, done that, perhaps several times, and has direct understanding and feeling and empathy and knowledge of how to do things in business. They've probably made a lot of mistakes too, but they've learned from them. You want them also to be impartial individuals. You don't want Uncle Jim, your dad or mom, your fraternity brothers or sisters. You want people who have the characteristics I just described, but you don't want them to have a horse in your race. If they are investors, or if they've loaned you money, or they're buying your products regularly because they love it, they're providing you marketing services as well, or something like that, that taints their judgment. Whether they admit it or not, it does. So you want people who don't have a horse in your race, are totally impartial, and will talk straight to you without a whole lot of other noise going on for their private lesser goals in their relationship with you, because they don't really have one. You perhaps just met them. Or on the other hand, with some seasoned entrepreneurs I know, they've had these coaches and mentors for 20 to 25 years and in an impartial relationship. So that's how long some of these relationships can go. But you want advice and guidance. You don't want them to tell you what to do. Now, if you're hiring a real life paid consultant, perhaps you do. That's a different case. I'm thinking of an advisor more in the style of a mentor that asks you lots of questions, let's put it that way, in the spirit of helping you think through a problem. So coaches and mentors are very valuable to you, and if you don't have one, I suggest you consider it very seriously, because they're going to help you avoid many mistakes that you could make, particularly if you're a new entrepreneur or this is your first business, you've not done this before. But even if this is your sixth business, you should have a person, I think, that is kind of a counterbalance for your judgment. So that's mentors and coaches. A different form of advisor are these what are called advisory boards. Now these are special individuals that you bring in as a group, maybe 3, 4, 5 really, really strong people in the market that you're in, and they're well connected, and they have a lot of know-how as well. But they're not sitting with you one-on-one, they're sitting with you as a group of advisors, and these are a group you maybe meet 3, maybe 4 times a year, probably more like 2 or 3, but periodically to go over your strategy, your business plan, your marketing strategy, your sales strategy. You may want advice on partnerships that you're contemplating making. Some of these people may be able to make you introductions to the forms of partnerships that you want. But these are people that you compensate in a very small way. You pay for their expenses if they're if they're having to travel. Chances are today you're going to do them over Zoom, so there's no travel expenses involved. But you want them accountable for things that you've asked them to do. So you give them a little sliver of stock, maybe, in your company. A fraction of a percent for working with you for a year. 2 to 3 meetings a year, and maybe some homework. But you want them to feel accountable to you for providing really great advice. You compensate them somewhat. Many of these relationships come from long-term relationships, and some of them will say, no, I don't need that. I'd be glad to help you. But however it works out, an advisory board is a good thing to have. And if you've got some really serious people who are really knowledgeable of the issues you're facing right now, and you get advice from them. A really formal form of advice is governance, boards of directors. Now, these are very special people. These are people that are representing the stockholders of your company. Now, if you happen to have taken money, like from angel investors or venture capital firms, they own part of your stock, undoubtedly. And the board of directors was selected by you, but on their behalf. And some of these people could be on your board for a period of time. But their role is to carry out proper governance of the company. They're making sure that you have an operational strategy. They actually review it and approve it. They review and approve top salaries of your company. They review and approve hiring of top executives of your company. If you've taken investors, there are going to be all sorts of restrictions on what you can do, like you can't sell the company without their permission and things like that. So you should, though, have a proper board of directors that you meet with every month or 2, depending on the need for this form of governance. But you should seriously consider doing that. And if you have investors, they're going to insist upon you doing it. But you shouldn't have to have somebody insist that you do it. The next are a plethora of legal issues that you may be facing that you may not even be aware of. First of all, you want to make sure you're properly incorporated, that you have confidentiality agreements, that you have liability insurance. You need an insurance sales guy for that, but an attorney is going to advise you strongly that you should do that. You should have standard contracts written by attorneys with all the pages of clauses that protect you from all sorts of nonsense. Some cases you want to maybe trademark your name of your company or your logo, things like that. Like that Antradot here there on the screen is a trademark. So which you do that to protect your trademarks. Your intellectual property, if you have some, you should protect as at least under confidentiality. Nobody can see it. Or like if you have source code, you lock source codes up and nobody can see it except people within your company or people you subcontract with that help you write your code. But you may have also intellectual property that's patentable, so you may want to protect things under patents. Trademark is a form of protection as well, like for company names, for example, as I said. You want to make sure that you are properly handling employment issues, that your employment practices are right and proper for the state that you're in. The laws on this, you don't want to wander away from. So those are a few things that an attorney is going to help you with. But if you get in trouble with somebody, you want them to be able to come in and get you out of it. So usually this is a corporate attorney, and if you need a litigator, they know them. So get good legal help. Bookkeeping is another one. An accountant. You don't want to run amok of the IRS. So you first of all want your income and costs of goods and expenses and other financial transactions reflected properly, like in QuickBooks. That's what most everybody uses. It's pretty commonplace. But you want an expert actually handling it for you. And you can get very qualified people for not a lot of money and for not many hours a month handling all of your bookkeeping. But then you move on to the really wonderful times of the year where you want to fill out your taxes, state and federal. So you want a CPA accountant to do that for you. It could be the same person as your bookkeeper, probably not. This is someone much more well-trained. But you do your state and federal and your sales tax. You got to make sure that that's been accounted for. You better make sure that you've properly handled employee taxes, employee obligations like withholding and healthcare stuff. Don't run amok of that, because if you do, they'll come and put handcuffs on you. So have a good solid accountant that can help you through the accounting and tax related issues and get advice from them. But that's why you have all of these people that you think are non-essential. You'd rather have engineers and marketing and salespeople. Well, you want all of them, but these people I just talked to you about, these ones here, I don't know where to point when I'm looking in the camera here, sorry. These kind of people got to be on your team as well. So with that thought, I've taken maybe 12 minutes. I'll edit this thing down, but you all have a good day. And as you're thinking through your business advisor, have a great day.